Hey, good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to another one of my morning mantras. I must say, for those of us who've been in the Middle East, this cold that we were experiencing in Delhi and northern parts of India was biting cold. But I'm sure not for folks who perhaps live in Europe and other colder parts of the globe. But it is abating. I see it's Saturday morning and I see a beautiful sunshine in Delhi. And I just wanted to share. I mean, I'm heading off to something that I do very often over weekends, which is to go and engage with the student community in India. Yeah. Over the last few years, I've had the good privilege of being invited to and having the opportunity to exchange ideas and thoughts, of course, on my favorite subject of transformation with the kids in great institutes around India, also around the world. I mean, Carnegie Mellon in their branch in Menlo Park in California. Some engagement with students in Oxford, where we ran a hackathon a long time back, and then of course in India. I mean, IIT Delhi, IIT Mumbai. Recently, I am Kozhikode. Went to Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, where the kids had invited me for a discussion late in the evening. And then of course my favorite, IIM Sirmaur, where I'm also an advisory member. And the only reason it's a favorite is because they run a course on tourism, a special course on tourism. And having been in the industry for so many years, that's an intersection I love, transformation and travel. Yeah, so I just wanted to call that out, maybe just as a one of the areas of learning is this engagement with students. And like any finger where you point this way, similarly for engagement with students, I think it's a real good win-win. It's almost like the same win-win you get. There are very rare win-wins in life, but the very rare win-win you get when startups work with enterprises. Similarly, when executives work with students, I think it's one way, one level learning for the students, and it's kind of 4x learning for the executives, right? I cannot tell you how many times I have engaged with the students, and when the Q&A happens, which is the part I love the best, so I typically intersperse my lecture with a lot of Q&A. Yeah, and the kids will stump you with some questions. I'll tell you one I had just a few weeks back in the town of Kerala, was when a kid asked me, so after digital transformation, what do you think will evolve? What's the thing on the horizon? And to be honest, that's got me thinking. I haven't got an answer to that as yet. Maybe some of the research folks are already looking at it, right? What wave of innovation will come after this era of transformation that we are currently witnessing? And then I'll kind of share another good story. When I was in Emirates Airline, I got a random call from a professor. I don't know how he got hold of my number, from Sweden, and he was a professor from University of Lund in Sweden. I think they did an MBA course there, and he said, listen, there is a student, Tom, and I would like you to spend 1 week with him and let him just be with you and shadow you, right? So my HR was excellent, as my HR currently, most of my HR colleagues have been brilliant in my life, right? So they were very accommodating, and we said, okay, Tom, you come along. And I told the professor there is only one condition, so he can shadow me. So I took him everywhere, yeah. But at the end of the week, obviously he would have got some learning, but he has to make copious notes and tell me, what his some reverse mentoring, right? So the week got over. Tom was my shadow. He went to our kind of leadership team meeting, went to every one of our business meetings. I had requested my colleagues to just allow him in, and I could see him making copious notes, right? And then in the week got over, of course, we got down for a two-way session, and I told him, fine, these were the key learnings. This is what we do in enterprise world, and he was very happy with that. And then I told him, as per the deal, now you have to tell me what your feedback for me is. And I was pleasantly surprised when he looked at his notes, took 2 pages of it, and started hammering some feedback to me one after another, right? Which is, in that meeting you behaved a bit, I could see your team was, their energy levels were falling because you were hammering them, and it was just mind-blowing, to be honest. I loved it. We've been connected for years after that, as Tom has progressed in his career now to a good senior executive, I think, somewhere in the Far East. Yeah. So I'm just saying, I mean, just like I often say this, right? That in meetings we should keep one chair vacant for the customer, and it reminds you what the purpose of this meeting is. Finally, right? Eventually, it should lead to some kind of direct or indirect benefits for your customer. Similarly, I think having a reverse mentoring kind of openness and curiosity and learning philosophy is amazing, especially if you're in the transformation game, right? So as I close this mantra, please continue to be curious and continue to learn as you go down your own disruption journeys and transformation journeys. Please remember to with open arms and open hearts involve these kids today, these students and the younger generation. And today, as you have your dinner and lunch and you have young kids at home, take some time off, explain your challenges to them, and go through a reverse mentoring session. You will be absolutely shocked at what you learn from them. Yeah. Thank you. Have a great day. Cheerio.